Behind every marble column and magnificent aqueduct of ancient Rome lies a dark truth most people never talk about. The empire's greatest achievements weren't just built with skill and engineering genius. They were built with blood, sweat, and the broken bodies of millions of slaves. When Rome conquered new territories, the defeated weren't just killed. They were enslaved. After major military victories, tens to hundreds of thousands of prisoners of war were marched back to Rome in chains. These conquered peoples became the fuel that powered Rome's construction machine. The Second Punic War alone flooded Italy with so many slaves that the entire economic system transformed into what historians call a true slave society. The construction of Rome's legendary infrastructure was backbreaking, brutal work. Take the aqueducts. These engineering marvels that brought fresh water to millions required years of construction. Slaves hauled massive stones, dug trenches through mountains, and worked 12-hour days under the constant threat of the whip. The baths of Caracalla alone required 6,000 men working 12 hours daily for 6 years straight. Most of these workers were slaves with no hope of freedom. Roman roads, stretching over 200,000 miles across the empire, tell a similar story. While Roman legions sometimes built roads themselves, much of the labor fell to slaves and criminals sentenced to forced labor. These workers moved earth, hauled stones, and laid foundations in all weather conditions. The work was so grueling that when Rome's first great sewer, the Cloaca Maxima, was being built, workers committed suicide rather than continue. The king's response? He crucified their bodies and put them on display as a warning to others. But the absolute worst fate for any Roman slave was being sent to the mines. This was essentially a death sentence. Slaves worked in deep, dark tunnels lit only by oil lamps, breathing toxic fumes constantly. The historian Diodorus Siculus described how these slaves produced incredible wealth for their masters while dying in large numbers from the exceptional hardships. There was no respite, no pause in their labor. Overseers beat them mercilessly, and most threw away their lives in what he called a wretched manner. The scale of this system was staggering. During the Roman imperial period, 12 to 20,000 workers were involved in construction projects in Rome at any given time. A mixture of slaves, freed slaves, and some free citizens rotated through various building sites. But make no mistake, slavery was the foundation. Rome's economy depended entirely on this constant supply of forced labor. What's truly chilling is how Rome's military expansion created a self-perpetuating cycle. Conquest brought slaves. Slaves built infrastructure. Infrastructure supported more military campaigns. More campaigns brought more slaves. When Rome's expansion finally stopped in the 2nd century, the supply of slaves began to dry up, and this labor shortage contributed to the empire's eventual economic troubles and decline. The magnificent ruins we admire today, the Colosseum, the aqueducts, the roads that still exist 2,000 years later, they're monuments to Roman engineering brilliance. But they're also mass graves, built on the suffering of countless human beings whose names we'll never know.